Act 1, Madhav's house, Madhav.
What a state I am in. Before he came, nothing mattered. I felt so free. But now that he has come, goodness knows from where, my heart is filled with his dear self. And my home will no home to me when he leaves. Doctor, do you think he...
If there's life in his fate, then he will live long. But what the medical scripture says, it seems,
Great heavens, what?
well, the scriptures have it bile or palsy, cold or gout spring. It's all alike.
Oh, get along. Don't fling your scriptures at me. You only make me more anxious. Tell me what I can do.
Hmm. The patient needs the most scrupulous care.
That's true. But tell me how.
Well, I have already mentioned. On no account must he be left out of the doors.
Poor child. It is very hard to keep him indoors all day long.
What else can you do? The autumn sun and the damp are both very bad for the little fellow. For the scriptures have it. In wheezing, swoon, or in nervous fret. In jaundice or leaden eyes.
Never mind the scriptures, please. Uh, then we must shut the poor thing up. Is there no other method?
None at all. For in the wind and in the sun.
What will your in this and in that do for me now? Why don't you let them alone and come straight to the point? What's to sorry. What's to be done then? Your system is very, very hard for the poor boy. And he is so quiet too, with all his pain and sickness. It tears my heart to see him wince as he takes your medicine.
Effect. That's why they say Chaivana observes. In medicine, as in good advices, the least palatable ones are the truest. Well, I must be trotting now.
The physician
Well,
leaves and Gaffer enters. Madhav.
I'm good. There's Gaffer now.
Why? Why? I won't bite you.
No, but you are a devil to send children off their heads.
But you aren't a child, and you have no child in the house. Why worry then?
Oh, but I have brought a child into the house.
Indeed. Also,
Madhav.
You remember how my wife was dying to adopt a child?
yes, but that's an old story. You didn't like the idea.
You know, well, how hard all this getting money in has been. That somebody else's child would sail in and waste all this money earned with so much trouble. Oh, I hated the idea, boy. But this boy clings to my heart in such a queer sort of way.
So that's the trouble. And your money goes all for him and feels jolly lucky it does go at all.
Madhav.
Formerly, earning was a sort of passion with me. I simply couldn't help working for money. Now I make money, and as I know it is all for this dear boy, earning becomes a joy to me.
Well, where did you pick him up?
He is the son of a man who was a brother to my wife by village ties. He has had no mother since infancy, and now the other day he lost his father as well.
Poor thing. And so he needs me all the more.
The doctor says all the organs of his little body are at loggerheads with each other, and there isn't much hope for his life. There's only one way to save him, and that is to keep him out of his autumn, wind, and sun. But you're such a terror. What with the game of yours at your age, too? To get children out of doors?
God bless my soul. So I'm already as bad as autumn wind and sun. But friend, I know something too of the game of keeping them indoors. When my day's work is over, I'm coming in to make friends with this child of yours.
Exit. Amal enters.
Uncle, I say. Uncle,
Hello? Is that you, Amal?
mayn't I be out of the courtyard at all?
No, my dear, no.
See, there were Aunt Grind's lentils in the quern. A squirrel is sitting with his tail up, and with his wee hands, he's picking up the broken grains of lentils and crunching them. Can't I run up there?
No, my darling. No.
Wish I were a squirrel. It would be lovely. Uncle, why won't you let me go about?
Madhav. Madhav says, doctor says it's bad for you to be out.
How can the doctor know?
What a thing to say. The doctor can't know and he reads such used books.
Does his book learning tell him everything?
Of course.
Of
Don't
course.
you know?
Don't you know?
I am so stupid. I don't read books.
Now, think of it. Very, very learned people are all like you. They are never out of doors.
Aren't they really?
No, how can they? Early and late they toil and moil at their books, and they are wise for nothing else. Now, my little man, you are going to be learned and reach such big books, and people will notice you and say his wonder.
No, no, uncle. I beg of you by your dear feet. I don't want to be learned. I won't.
Dear, dear, it would have been my saving if I could have been learned.
No, I would rather go about and see everything that there is.
Listen to that. See, what will you see? What is there so much to see?
See that faraway hill from our window? I often long to go beyond those hills and ride away.
Oh, you silly. As if there's nothing more to be done, but just get up to the top of that hill and away. You don't talk sense, my boy. Now listen. Since that hill stands there upright as a barrier, it means you can't get beyond it. Else, what was the use in heaping up so many large stones to make such a big affair of it? Ah,
Uncle, do you think it is meant to prevent your crossing over? It seems to me because the earth can't speak, it raises its hands into the sky and beckons. And those who live far and sit alone by their windows can see the signal. But I suppose the learned people.
no, they don't have time for that sort of nonsense. They are not crazy like you.
Do you know, yesterday I met someone quite as crazy as I am.
Gracious me. Really? How so?
He had a bamboo staff on his shoulder with a small bundle at the top, and a brass pot in his left hand, and an old pair of shoes on. He was making for those hills straight across that meadow there. I called out to him and asked, "Where are you going?" He answered, "I don't know. Anywhere?" I asked again, "Why are you going?" He said, "I'm going out to seek work." Say, uncle, have you to seek work?
Of course I have to. There's many about looking for jobs.
How lovely. I'll go about, like them too, finding things to do.
Suppose you seek and don't find, then
Wouldn't that be jolly? Then I should go farther. I watched that man slowly walking on with his pair of worn out shoes. And when he got to where the water flows under the fig tree, he stopped and washed his feet in the stream. Then he took out from his bundle some gram flour, moistened it with water, and began to eat. Then he tied up his bundle and shouldered it again, tucked up his cloth above his knees, and crossed the stream. I've asked Auntie to let me go up to the stream and eat my gram flour just like him.
and what did your auntie say to that?
Auntie said, "Get well and then I'll take you over there. Please, uncle, when shall I get well?"
It won't be long, dear.
Really? But then I shall go right away the moment I'm well again.
And where will you go?
Oh, I will walk on, crossing so many streams, wading through water. Everybody will be asleep with their doors shut in the heat of the day, and I will tramp on and on, seeking work far, very far.
I see. I think you had better be getting well first. Then,
But then you won't want me to be learned, will you, uncle?
what would you rather be then?
I can't think of anything just now, but I'll tell you later on.
Very well. But mind you, you aren't to call out and talk to strangers again.
But I love to talk to strangers.
Suppose they had kidnapped you.
That would have been splendid, but no one ever takes me away. They all want me to stay in here.
I'm off to work. But darling, you won't go out, will you?
No, I won't. But, uncle, you let me be in this room by the roadside.
Madhav exists. Dairyman.
Curds, curds, good nice curds.
Curd seller, I say. Curd seller?
Why do you call me? Will you buy some curds?
How can I buy? I have no money.
What a boy. Why call out then? Ugh, what a waste of time.
I would go with you if I could.
With me?
Yes, I seem to feel homesick when I hear you call from far down the road.
Whatever are you doing here, my child?
The doctor says I'm not to be out. So I sit here all day long.
My poor child. What has happened to you?
I can't tell. You see, I am not learned. So I don't know what's the matter with me. Say, Dairyman, where do you come from?
From our village.
Your village? Is it very far?
Our village lies on the river Shamli at the foot of the Panchmura hills.
Panchmura Hills. Shamli River. I wonder. I may have seen your village. I can't think when, though.
Have you seen it? Been to the foot of those hills?
Never. But I seem to remember having seen it. Your village is under some very old big trees, just by the side of the red road. Isn't that so?
That's right, child.
And on the slope of the hill, cattle grazing.
How wonderful. Aren't there cattle grazing in our village? Indeed they are.
And your women with red saris fill their pitchers from the river and carry them on their heads.
Good, that's right. Women from our dairy village do come and draw their water from the river. But then it isn't everyone who has a red sari to put on. But, my dear child, surely you must have been there for a walk sometime.
Really, Dairyman, never been there at all. But the first day doctor lets me go out, you are going to take me to your village.
I will, my child, with pleasure.
And you'll teach me to cry curds and shoulder the yoke like you and walk the long, long road.
Dear, dear, did you ever? Why should you sell curds? No, you will read big books and be learned.
No, I never want to be learned. I'll be like you and take my curds from the village by the red road near the old banyan tree. And I will hawk it from cottage to cottage. Oh, how do you cry? Curd, curd, good nice curd. Teach me the tune, will you?
Dear, dear, teach you the tune? What an idea.
Oh, please do. I love to hear it. I can't tell you how queer I feel when I hear you cry out from the bend of that road through the line of those trees. Do you know I feel like that when I hear the shrill cry of kites from almost the end of the sky?
Dear child, will you have some curds? Yes, do.
But I have no money.
No, 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 don't talk of money. You'll make me so happy if you have a little curds from me.
Say, have I kept you too long?
Not a bit. It has been no loss to me at all. You have taught me how to be happy selling goods.
Dairyman exists. Amal.
Curds, curds, good nice curds from the dairy village, from the country of the Panchmura hills by the Shamli bank. Curds, good curds. In the early morning, the women make the cows stand in a row under the trees and milk them. And in the evening, they turn the milk into curds. Curds, good curds. Hello, there's the watchman on his rounds. Watchman, I say, come and have a word with me.
What's all this row you're making? Aren't you afraid of the likes of me?
No, why should I be?
Suppose I march you off then.
Where will you take me to? Is it very far? Right beyond the hills?
Suppose I march you straight to the king?
To the king? Do, will you? But the doctor won't let me go out. No one can ever take me away. I've got to stay here all day long.
Doctor won't let you? Poor fellow. So I see. Your face is pale, and there are dark rings round your eyes. Your veins stick out from your poor thin hands.
Won't you sound the gong, Watchman?
Time has not come yet.
How curious. Some say time has not yet come, and some say time has gone by. But surely your time will come the moment you strike the gong.
That's not possible. I strike up the gong only when it is time.
Yes, I love to hear your gong. When it is midday and our meal is over, Uncle goes off to his work and Auntie falls asleep reading her Ramayana. And in the courtyard under the shadow of the wall, our doggy sleeps with his nose in his curled up tail. And then your gong strikes out. Tong, tong, tong. Tell me, why does your gong sound?
My gong sounds to tell people time waits for none, but goes on forever.
Where? To what land?
That none knows.
Then I suppose no one has ever been there. Oh, I do wish to fly with the time to that land of which no one knows anything.
All of us have to get there one day, my child.
Have I too?
Yes, you too.
But doctor won't let me out.
One day the doctor himself may take you there by hand.
He won't. You don't know him. He only keeps me in.
One greater, then he comes and lets us free.
When will this great doctor come for me? I can't stick in here anymore.
Shouldn't talk like that, my child.
No, I'm here where they have left me. I never move a bit. But when your gong goes off, dong dong dong, it goes to my heart. Say, Watchman,
Yes, my dear?
say, what's going on there in that big house on the other side, where there is a flag flying high up and the people are always going in and out?
Oh, there. That's our new post office.
Post office? Whose?
Whose? Why, the king, surely.
Do letters come from the king to his office here?
Of course, one fine day there may be a letter for you in there.
A letter for me? But I am only a little boy.
The king sends tiny notes to little boys.
Oh, how lovely. When shall I have my letter? How do you guess he'll write to me?
Otherwise, why should he get his post office here right in front of your open window with a golden flag flying?
But who will fetch me my king's letter when it comes?
The king has many postmen. Don't you see them run about round gilt badges on their chests?
Well, where do they go?
Oh, from door to door, all through the country.
I'll be the king's postman when I grow up.
Haha, postman indeed. Rain or shine, rich or poor, from house to house delivering letters. That's very great work.
That's what I would like best. What makes you smile, sir? Oh, yes, your work is great too. When it is silent everywhere in the heat of the noonday, your gong sounds tong tong tong. And sometimes when I wake up at night, all of a sudden, and find our lamp blown out, I can hear through the darkness your gong slowly sounding dong dong dong.
That's the village headman. I must be off. If he catches me gossiping with you, there will be great to do.
The headman, whereabouts is he?
Right down the road there, see the huge palm leaf umbrella hopping along? That's him.
I suppose the king's made him a headman here.
Made him? Oh no, a fussy busybody. He knows so many ways of making himself unpleasant that everybody is afraid of him. It's just the game for the likes of him, making trouble for everybody. I must be off now. Must not keep work waiting. I'll drop in again tomorrow morning and tell you all the news of the town.
It would be splendid to have a letter from the king every day. I'll read them at the window. But oh, I can't read writing. Who'll read them out to me, I wonder? Auntie reads the Ramayana. She may know the king's writing. If no one will, then I must keep them carefully and read them when I'm grown up. But if the postman can't find me, Headman, Mr. Headman, may I have a word with you?
Who is yelling after me on the highway? Oh, you wretched monkey!
Oh, you're the headman. Everybody minds you.
Yes, oh yes, they do. They must.
Do the king's postmen listen to you?
They've got to. By Jove, I'd like to see.
Will you tell the postman it's Amal who sits by the window here?
What's the good of that?
In case there's a letter for me.
A letter for you? Who is going to write to you?
If the king does.
Haha, what an uncommon little fellow you are, huh? The king indeed. Aren't you his boss and friend, huh? You haven't met for a long while and the king is pining. I'm sure. Wait till tomorrow and you will have your letter.
Say, headman, why do you speak to me in that tone of voice? Are you cross?
Upon my word, gross indeed. You write to the king. Madhav is devilish swell nowadays. He had made a little pile, and so kings and padishahs are everyday talk with his people. Let me find him once, and I'll make him dance. Oh, you snip and snapper! I'll get the king's letter, send it to your house. Indeed, I will.
No, please don't trouble yourself about it.
And why not pray? I'll tell the king about you, and he won't be very long. One of his footmen will come along presently for the news of you. Madhur's impudence staggers me. If the king hear of this, that'll take some of his nonsense out of him.
Who are you walking there? How your anklets tinkle. Do stop a while, dear, won't you?
Sudha. Paula.
I haven't a moment to spare. It's already late.
I see. You don't wish to stop. I don't care to stay on here either.
You make me think of some late start of the morning. Whatever's the matter with you?
I don't know. The doctor won't let me out.
Ah, me. Don't then. You should listen to the doctor. People will be cross with you if you're naughty. I know you're always looking out and watching must. I know always looking out and watching must make you feel tired. Let me close the window a bit, please.
No, don't. Only this one's open. All the others are shut. But will you tell me who you are? Don't seem to know you.
I'm Sudha.
What's Sudha?
Don't you know, daughter of the flower seller here?
What do you do?
I gather flowers in my basket.
Oh, flower gathering. That is why your feet seem so glad and your anklets jingle so merrily as you walk. Wish I could be out too. Then I would pick some flowers for you and the very topmost branches right out of sight.
Would you really? Do you know more about flowers than I?
Yes, I do. Quite as much. I know all about Champa of the fairy tale and his 7 brothers. If only they let me, I'll go right into the dense forest where you can't find your way. And where the honey-sipping hummingbird rocks himself on the end of the thinnest branch, I will flower out as a Champa. Would you be my sister, Parul?
You are silly. How can I be Sister Parul when I'm Sudha and my mother is Shakti, the flower seller? I have to weave so many garlands a day. It would be jolly if I could lounge here like you.
What will you do then all the day long?
I could have great times with my dog Benay, the bride, and many the pussycat. But I say it's getting late and I mustn't stop, or I won't find a single flower.
Oh, wait a little longer. I do like it so.
Ah, well. Now don't you be naughty. Be good and sit still. And on my way back home with the flowers, I'll come and talk with you.
And you let me have a flower then?
No, how can I? It has to be paid for.
I'll pay when I grow up, before I leave to look for work out on the other side of that stream there.
Very well then.
And you will come back when you have your flowers?
I will.
You will? Really?
Yes, I will.
You won't forget me? I am Amal. Remember that.
I won't forget you. You'll see.
Sudha exits. A troop of boys enter.
We're off to play.
Say, brothers, where are you all off to? Stop here a little.
We'll play at being the plowman. This is a plowshare.
Amal.
And you're going to play the whole day.
Yes, all day long.
And you'll come back home in the evening by the road along the river bank.
Yes.
Do you pass our house on your way home?
Yes, you come out to play with us. Yes, do.
Doctor won't let me out.
Doctor? Suppose the likes of your mind, the doctor? Let's be off. It's getting late.
Don't. Why not play on the road near this window? I could watch you then.
What can we play out there?
With all these toys of mine lying about. Here you are.
Ow.
Have them. I can't play alone. They are getting dirty and are of no use to me.
How jolly. What fine toys. Look, here's a ship. There's an old jetty that gorgeous sepoy, and you'll let us have them all. You really mind?
No, not a bit. Have them by all means.
You don't want them back?
Oh no, I shan't want them.
Say, you won't get a scolding for this.
No one will scold me. But will you play with them in front of our door for a while every morning? I'll get you new ones when these are old.
Oh, yes, we will. Say, chaps, put these sepoys in a line. We are at war. Where muskets. And look here, there's this. Can you bring down the sentence a little bit in the middle because there's this thing covering on the right? Oh, look here. This is a bit of read. Nicely. Stay. But you're off to sleep already.
I'm afraid I'm sleepy. I don't know. I feel like it at times. I have been sitting a long while and I'm tired. My back aches.
It's only early moon now. How is it you're sleepy? Listen, the gong's sounding the first watch.
Yes, dong, dong, dong. It tells me to sleep.
We had better go then. We'll come again tomorrow morning.
I want to ask you something before you go. You are always out. Do you know of the king's postmen?
Yes, quite well.
Who are they? Tell me their names.
One's Badal, another's Sarad. There are so many of them.
Do you think they will know me if there's a letter for me?
Surely, if your name's on the letter, they'll find out.
When you call in tomorrow morning, will you bring one of them along so that he'll know me?
Yes, if you like.
End of Act 1.